Yeah, well, I talked to this ex-Navy SEAL. I think it was a Navy SEAL. It's one of the American Special Forces, Jocko Willink. And Jocko's quite the bloody monster. He's about 3 feet thick, and he makes Joe Rogan isn't very tall, but he's tough and built. And, Jocko makes Joe look like a midget. He's a really tough guy. And he said that, when he was a kid, he could have been a pretty bad guy. He wanted to be a soldier from the time he was 3, and he's just wired that way, physically and mentally. And then he went off to military training and he started mentoring other people. And he said that was so much more rewarding than anything else he ever did, that nothing compared. And it's very interesting, because it's so easy, and this has to do with narcissism as well. It's so easy for people to feel that, if they had resources at their disposal, that they could do anything they want and be, let's say, more sexually attractive, and to have the advantages that they assume would go along with unlimited power and resources. And the pathological part of that is that there isn't anything that is more meaningful in the deep sense than being of service to other people. And that's a deep paternal instinct, and it's a mark of paternal maturity that you find gratification in that, right? And it's a sacrificial gratification, and it is the basis for a competent society. The lefties in particular, the postmodern types who insist that everything is about power, they just reveal their own narcissistic hand, as far as I'm concerned, in that philosophy, because everything isn't about power. If you think everything's about power, you haven't got anywhere near the core of what makes it valuable to be a human being, because you find all of that value in service to other people.
Well, this is something I see more, time and time again with the people on the left. Their ideology is more important than anything else. And so they will often sometimes be violent. They will take away rights of other people because they believe that the ends is justified. And so it's crazy, when you look at what the negative impact will be for what they're actually doing, but they think it's for this greater good. And it's an ideology that I struggle with, quite frankly. I just something that just doesn't come to me naturally.
Yeah, well, and it would be all right as far as I was concerned if it was actually for the greater good, if that was actually at the bottom of it. But I don't think it is. I think that the easy moralizing that's part and parcel of the utopian strain of central planning thinking, it has very little to do with even the end. What it has to do with is the possibility that you can be identified in the moment with someone promoting a positive end, and also with no sacrificial requirement on your part. If other people have to pay for your utopia, you don't have any skin in the game.
Yes.
And so we have these false solutions. See, this goes back to the environmental issue. It's like the left, the worldwide green left, is willing to sacrifice the poor of the present for their hypothetical poor of the future. And that borders on evil, or crosses the line as far as I'm concerned.
And I often think about it just from perspective of, people ask me why am I doing this, and I explain this, in terms of what I'm doing. But really, it's I'm planting my flag on a hill. I'm saying this is it. This is the fight that is worth fighting. This is the battle that is worth taking on, because it's the society I want to live in, right? I don't want to live in that society that you've just described and that they're trying to build. I don't want to live in that, because in my opinion, if that's what it's going to be, I'm going to look at going elsewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, why would I live there, right? It's not an enjoyable experience. It's not something that is fulfilling. Why would you want to live in that kind of misery? And so, to me, this is the fight that is worth taking on.